Everybody, Melissa Klein here. And this week, I wanted to talk to you guys about loss and transformation. And originally, it was just going to be about loss, because that's a nice, depressing subject for the summer. Summer, that's what we like to think about. Yeah, I know we tend to think of winter as the time for that, but I think that the loss happens in many ways throughout the whole year. Like, yay! And maybe in some ways the summer is not a bad time to do that because there's like a we can, at least for me, having the sun and the nice weather gives me more bandwidth to process things like that. um, so I'm going to share with you a personal story about how when I moved into Nash's bunkhouse. And there was a whole lot of loss before that preceded me making this move. And, sort of that typical midlife crisis thing of going from a really nice 4-bedroom house, 2-car garage type setup to a bunkhouse on a farm, very, primitive. But I was extremely grateful to be there. And I still am here. And I actually absolutely love this. Of all the places I've lived, this is probably like my most favorite for being comfortable, believe it or not, comfortable and cozy. And I feel very protected in this environment. And one of the reasons why I felt so welcomed into this space, not only because Patty and Nash were just so gracious, but also this giant tree that was right next to the bunkhouse and just sort of dwarfs the whole thing. And I absolutely love this tree. Nash tells me it is a California pine. It also has a sister, I believe, a daughter tree next to it, that they're like, symbiotic together. And I felt very, very protected by this tree, even to the point that at the time when I moved in, I was in a dysfunctional relationship. And very soon after that, it like blew apart. He did some really unacceptable things. And of course, me being me, no, I didn't kill him, but it certainly looks like it from this link drawing I did. And in fact, I kind of nicknamed the bunkhouse the Baba Yaga hut, because I always felt like if it wanted to, like there's probably chicken legs underneath here that it could just lift up and walk around. I could totally see that happening. And I thought it was kind of interesting to me that thing just blew apart in this new environment. It's almost like I almost felt like it was just pushing, like the environment was almost like, nope, you can't be. She can be here, but you may not. So I killed him metaphorically in my art, not in real life. Although, yeah, I'll leave it there. But there was one thing about this tree that was extremely stressful to me, which is that it had this huge branch that was almost the size of a tree in and of itself, that was just hovering just inches above the roof of the bunkhouse. And particularly if it snowed or there was wind, you could hear it like thunking the roof. And that was like not a good feeling. Like, wow, I might lose my little cocoon, my little nest to, this might be destroyed. And then what would happen? So for like a lot of things, if this limb fell. And so just through a series of coincidences, I was able to persuade, after I'd been here about a year, and last winter was a little bit dicey. Like anytime there was any major weather, wondering like, oh, am I going to be calling up my aunt saying, hi, can I come over like for a month or two while I figure this shit out? Which was not a great feeling to have to impose on a relative like that. Or the think that I might have to. And at any rate, a very kind person removed this limb for me and did it just beautifully and quickly. And then I had a huge mess to clean up in the yard. Because I didn't expect this person who was even just a stranger to do this for me, much less do the yard work around it. But as I was cleaning up the yard and, piling the logs up from this and hauling the brush out and stuff, I was talking to the tree, and I was saying, I know that limb had to go. And I know that it was maybe if it had fallen off of you because it seemed like it was unbalancing you, that it might have actually ripped you in two and really hurt you worse for having, been blown off or ripped off versus a clean cut. But I don't I don't want to say that that didn't hurt. I know that hurt for that tree. I know that that was a hard thing for that tree to lose that limb. And I do believe this is a sentient being. I believe that this is something that has a soul. I mean, and so, and I believe on some level, I hope it, can understand. And so I wanted to acknowledge and apologize for that because it is a thing. Like, even I would say the thing about loss is even when you lose something that is not good for you, like for example, like that stupid boyfriend, like that's still hurt. And I think it's important to acknowledge that hurt. But as I started to think about a little bit more deeply about loss, I realized how closely loss is connected to transformation. And that pretty much so many creation myths have some sort of element of when something is created, something else before makes a sacrifice or gives up something, or it comes from something. Um, and I had created a piece called Anput Creates Herself, and I did it in crackle milk paint. And the way I work with that process is basically the paint cracks, and I've set up a situation so that the paint will crackle. And then within the cracks of the paint, just kind of like, to me, it's like cave art, like reading the contours of the cave paintings, that I pull out the images from there. So when I did that painting, I really had no idea what I was going to do. But out of it came these images. And I remember looking at the sort of female character that's following. I thought, wow, I don't even know who or what that is. I feel like there's a story here. I'm not sure what it is. And so I got onto Google. I'm like, well, I don't know. I know it's not Anubis, but it looks like Anubis except female. And much to my surprise, what came out of that was there is a female consort to Anubis. And one of the things that's kind of mysterious about her is that most of the gods, there is a lineage, son of so and so or whatever happened out of this, grew out of Zeus's head or whatever. And in her case, nobody really knows where she came from. She just kind of created herself. And yet at the same time, I feel like there's maybe a buried myth deeper in there that we just don't know, that got lost in the sands of time, because there's this hunter and this tiger. And again, I don't know, to me, it's a very mysterious painting that I feel like I somehow channeled something. I feel like there's some sort of sacrifice involved, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it it to me is something that is important. And this became very much a signature painting for me, and a touchstone painting. In fact, it's something that I have up in the bunkhouse. I don't have much of my own work displayed in my personal space because I almost just want to leave that as like a stage for the new work to come in. But this one has traveled with me. And this one to me is about transformation and how we can recreate ourselves again and again and again. And even though there's loss, there's transformation, there's rebirth, and it's actually really, really beautiful. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon on Zoom, or I know I will. Looking forward to it.